So today I'm here with Nicole Marie, and I'll let her introduce herself actually. So Nicole, could you tell us first a little bit about who you are, what you were doing before, and what you're doing now?
Oh, who am I? Well, that's an interesting it's an interesting broad question. Currently, I would say I identify myself as a intuitive guide and holistic life coach. I What was I doing before? Is that was
Hmm.
that okay? Before I spent 10 years working as a midwife, so working in a even though I was a midwife and working in a out of hospital setting, there was still the corporate politics of working for someone else and in a business that wasn't my own. And the regulations that constrict how I wanted to provide care and comfort to women in their birthing and maternal health challenges. Um, what was the last part of that question? What am I doing now?
Yes, I think you answered that, but
Okay.
maybe I'll ask you. So, what was the moment? Was there a moment at which you decided to make the change?
It was a gradual moment. There was definitely a defining moment, but I think that defining moment came from some clarity that I got after trying to figure out why midwifery wasn't working for me any longer. It was probably about a year before that sort of defining moment where I realized that I was really burnt out from offering and holding space energetically for women and just not having the time and the space to replenish my own self to be able to build myself back up again from a place of taking care of myself, doing self-care, being able to take vacations and have the money to take vacations. So there was definitely this lack of energy and emotion that I was putting out for other women and not being able to have the time and the space and the finances to be able to give it back to myself. The defining moment was doing a workshop that was put together by Danielle Laporte called The Desire Map. And it's based off a book. And I was a part of the beta testing workshop that happened in Seattle. And doing that workshop and finally coming to a place in my life where I was ready to start looking at how I wanted to feel in my life versus all of the things that I wanted to do or was doing. It Getting that clarity that one of the most important ways that I wanted to feel in my life was free. And that if I wasn't feeling free, if I'm not feeling free in my life, in all the areas of my life, I am miserable. And working as a midwife, there was definitely not much freedom in that.
Great to have that awareness. Can I ask you the workshop? What was it that led you to sign up to that workshop?
I read the book, and as I was reading the book, I was like, oh yes, oh yes. Aha, there were just ahas and oh yeses going off all over the place. And there was a workbook part of the book, and I am the type of person that can't do a little bit here and put it down and come back to it and do a little bit more there and come back to it and do a little bit more. And I always meant to get around to just carving out a huge chunk of time and making time to do it for myself. And I never got there. So when the workshop came up, I was like, oh, okay, like this forces me to go. It forces me to do the self-reflection, to do the exercises, and to really dig in and discover more about what it is that I want in my life and how I want to feel.
That's funny. I think I'm the same. I never do those exercises. They always say, now make sure you do the exercises, go away, take the time to do them. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it later. And then I just continue reading. So I can see how the workshop can really be great to sort of hold your hand in terms of that process and to really do the hard work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so what was the biggest challenge you faced in making the change, making the transition?
Sorry. I'm not sure if there's been multiple big challenges, so I'm not sure I can state a biggest challenge. I think one of the challenges was learning the whole logistics of starting my own business and what it takes to build a website and to do all the technical issues that I had no idea how to do until I started my own business. So the steep learning curve that went along with that was challenging. It's been challenging from a financial standpoint to find the place where I am, where I'm really clear about what it is that I'm offering so that people know how I can best support them. It's been financially challenging as my friends and family have looked at the financial struggle that I had in the first few months and just wanting to tell me to go get a job. And people that are not on an entrepreneurial journey don't understand that I have a job and I'm working my ass off in my job day and night. And that it actually is bringing me more money than if I went and got a job in the area that I live in now. We moved about 6 months ago out to an island, so it's not like I can just go get another job as a midwife out here. It doesn't work like that. So, I think also sort of starting to stop looking to society and to my family and my friends for guidance and starting to learn how to follow my own inner guidance. In some ways have driven a wedge between my family and my friends in a way that I didn't expect. I expected to be along on this amazing journey and to just have them kind of link arms with me and kind of take them along with me. And instead, it feels like I'm trailblazing and cutting a path and heading out onto this journey on my own. And I keep turning around to look and see if anyone else is behind me. And I see them way back there. So it's been sort of a lonely journey as well.
Wow, so many great insights there and beautifully described. And congratulations for sticking with it despite all those challenges. What do you think has been the support that has helped you in making this happen despite those difficulties?
Having an amazing supportive partner who has been my biggest cheerleader, who has edited all of my blog posts, who helps celebrate and reminds me to celebrate all of the little and the big things that I have accomplished along the way. That's been the biggest thing for me in the last year, is having his support.
So both emotional and actually tangible support in terms of the business. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Actually, yeah.
Celebration piece is so important, isn't it? Because we tend to finish something and then just rush on to the next thing. To actually acknowledge the progress that we've made and stop for a moment and celebrate that is so important.
Yes, it is. It is.
And what's the best part of your lifestyle today?
Is the freedom that I have. The freedom that I have to... most days, outside of having appointments with clients, I have the ability to not write my blog post today if I'm not in the mood to do it, or if I'm not feeling it, or I'm tired and I want to go take a nap instead. So the freedom that I have to really do this work from anywhere, when I want and how I want, and if things aren't working, to be able to stop and shift directions and change the course if I'm not liking how it feels to me anymore.
Wonderful. And my final question is, what one piece of advice could you give someone who's, a few years back in that journey, who's perhaps starting the transition and looking for guidance or reassurance, I guess, as they embark on their journey?
I think the biggest piece of advice I can give is to really find clarity in how you want to feel in your life, and really begin chasing those feelings in in all the areas of your life, and to shut out the oftentimes the well-meaning advice from others that aren't supportive of where you're wanting to go, and to really tap into your own inner wisdom and your own inner guidance. I call it your soul guidance, that guidance that comes from your own heart, your own intuition, your own soul, and to let go of fear and just take the leap.
Great advice. Thank you so much, Nicole, for sharing your story. I'm going to link to your website, Create with Soul, beautiful website, in the comments below. But thank you very much for sharing your own experience and for giving your advice. Thanks, Nicole.
Absolutely.